Hello, everyone, and welcome to TWS Movie and TV Reviews. Today, we are going to talk about The Penguin, Episode 3. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Kid Cog.
Hi, guys.
How we doing, guys? Okay, this has been an interesting episode this week. This is following a trend. The trend is intense.
Not TPs.
Intense.
Intense.
I didn't think this would get any more intense, but it's got more intense.
In a good way. In a very good way.
So, we're waiting to see when this actually dips, because according to folks that have seen the entire season, it dips.
Oh, no.
I can't see it dipping myself. At the moment, the trend is very good. I know we're only on an episode 3, but we're at a point in the season where we'd start to see cracks, I think. I think if we don't see cracks by episode 4, I think it's going to be a pretty good show. I hope.
I do. I've got good feelings about this one. I don't know if it's going to pan as people say it might do. Maybe it's because this particular episode was very explanatory. There was a lot going on, a lot you had to take in. Maybe that doesn't appease to a lot of people, but I feel like it's going to move the story into where we can understand it a little bit better. It was very heavy on the character Victor this time in episode 3.
Yep.
I did say previously in some of the episodes before, I feel like he's going to be the underdog. I feel like there's something about Victor that we need to keep an eye on.
He's got a bit of a dark backstory. The end of Batman, which hopefully you've all seen, so there's not any spoilers. His entire family gets wiped out by this event.
Yes.
We won't say how it happens, but it is a bit dark, so prepare yourself for a bit of trauma.
Well, we're in Gotham. It's not going to be light-hearted, I don't think.
I don't know, there's some light bits of Gotham, there's a club scene, that's okay.
Yeah.
There's a club scene. It kind of extends his character a bit, you get a bit more information on his background. You can see why he has his speech impediment. He's had it since birth, by the looks of it. It's not really gone into any more detail than that.
No.
But obviously, what he's seen and the trauma he's gone through, he's got extreme PTSD. It's made it worse. So he can see he's improving though. He's becoming.
There's moments where if he's not thinking about his trauma, his stutter pretends to not be as severe, but it's trying to show you the intensity of his past. You know that he's thinking of those things when he starts to stutter more.
Yeah, I think the magical thing about this episode, going back to Oscop or Oswald or Colin Farrell's character, the Penguin, I think is the contrast of his different personalities, because he switches on a dime, as we've said before, but he can come across as very caring. He's definitely got a soft spot for Victor.
You can see that.
They have a bit of an altercation later on in the episode, and he's had many times he could have just shot Victor and not really thought about it, but I think he does have some sort of emotional attachment to him. I think he sees himself in Victor.
I was going to say exactly the same thing. I think there's a reflection element here of where he sees a younger Penguin or younger Oswald in Victor.
Yeah, it's because he's always been treated like Oswald has always been treated like
the outcast.
Yeah, nobody respects him because of the way he looks. Obviously, he's limp as well. And even when he thought he was on top, he wasn't anywhere. And he's still exactly where he was when he first started. Yeah. So no matter how hard he tries, he can never get the respect he feels he deserves, or the respect he feels his mum should, because we've talked about this on episode 2. He's got a bit of a screwed up relationship with his mum because she's a narcissist, but also a narcissist with dementia, which again is a really weird... It's different.
Yes.
It's different,
That's
but he's obviously got a lot of mummy issues. And he wants to do her proud, and I don't think he's going to stop what he's doing or trying to screw everybody over until he gets where he needs to be. This is the relationship building between Sophia and Oz. Also, so Victor, Oz, and Sophia have become a bit of a trio.
No, Sophia wasn't really warming to Victor at first, but I feel like there might be a potential they might all work together. I think Sophia is only unsure of the people she can't read who they are off the bat. That's why she's always uncomfortable around Oz, because I think there's a certain thing there where they can't quite read each other and they're trying to play each other at their own game. So that might come as a failure, or it might come out on top. I'm interested to see how that pans out.
Johnny Vitti, who we talked about before, played by Michael Kelly, he is a constant pain in the arse.
Oh, he's a good character.
And he's a piece of shit. He really knows how to wind up Sophia as well. So there's, again, an altercation between him, Oz, and Sophia in the middle of the episode. And I think he's going to come to an untimely demise. I think he's kind of...
Oh, I don't know.
No, I think he's cashing checks. His mouth can't write, because he comes across, or he tries to come across as the big man. But as soon as anybody puts any kind of force on him, he folds. So, as we see in this episode, I don't know. We'll see. But they need him to get what they want, which is what this entire episode is about, is bliss. Bliss is a drug that the inmates of Arkham were put on to give them a euphoric state, to make them well-behaved, so they kind of forget all their troubles, their worries, and become well-behaved patients. And by the sounds of things, Sophia was put on this quite a bit. We have a bit of an insight to it in episode 2, where she has a nightmare of her brother getting shot. I think that was a bit of foreshadowing there, so I think she might have been addicted to the drug in Arkham. But we'll have to wait and see. Again, it's a mushroom. It's very strange. It's like they take the spores off the mushroom.
Well, they call it a bleeding mushroom, and it's got like these red spores that sort of look like they bleed, and that's what the red crystals are, and that's what they end up spreading around. And it's a really interesting take on it. I don't know what's going to come of this bliss, but is it a way of that they can have control over Gotham? Is it a way that they can keep everybody submissive under their thumb? We'll have to wait and see.
I think the other thing is as well, they want to kind of decimate the drop market, because the eye droplet thing from Batman, and also from the start of this, was what had a grip on Gotham. Everybody was using that to try and escape the fact that Gotham's falling apart because of what happened in the Batman.
It's all falling apart.
So I think this bliss is going to be the replacement drug. They've had to find somebody to distribute it. They've gone towards the Triads. There's a bit of history between the Falcons and the Triads, because the Falcons wiped out the Triads and relegated them to Chinatown. So there's a lot of bad animosity there. I think this is going to come unstuck. I think the Triads are going to try and maybe play ball for a little bit, and then they're going to get either too big for their britches, or they're going to do something that's going to completely screw up the operation. Oz was the in, so Sophia's used Oz as an in to get in with the Triads. She started off, or the episode makes you think that they're equal partners, or at the very start, there's still an animosity between Sophia and Oz. Yeah, you find out later on in the episode why, but when Oz gets a little bit too familiar, or he tries to, I don't know, make out that they're on an equal setting, she really does shoot him down and makes him feel like a piece of shit, which is why at the end of the episode he's quite willing just to fuck her off and leave her in the ditch.
Yeah, quite literally.
Because again, any time that you seem to belittle Oz or make him feel smaller, he switches up and becomes psychotic. He becomes
this complete other... He becomes the villain at that point. We feel quite...
He becomes the Penguin.
Yeah, he does. We feel quite... we relate to Oz, and we feel like he's vulnerable in most places. And then that's a good role for Colin, because he's just completely changes his entire demeanour. As soon as he feels like he's belittled by any of the characters, he does become the Penguin, as you quite rightly said.
So but the thing about the entire show, where's it going to go from here? Everything has got what we keep saying. This show runs obviously it runs on being intense and obviously bringing up intrigue, etc. But it also runs on everything going to shit all at once. I know this is how you keep people invested in the show. It is a week by week show. It's obviously not something you can binge. Well, I mean, you could binge watch it when it finishes. But I feel this is the kind of show it's good to watch it week by week, because they leave it on a good cliffhanger, which then
builds anticipation.
Yeah, and it keeps you emotionally involved in the show. And the characters are good enough that you feel an affinity with them, even the nutty ones.
Yeah.
So you want to know what happens to them. And especially with us as well, like, how the fuck is he going to get out of it this week? Because he's literally like, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, forget about it. No, he say, so it's more like this. It's
That's
like you can't even. What are you talking about, kid? We're gonna be fine. I've only got 20 guns firing at us at once. My car's fucked, and
But that's just the thing. He's got such a dismissive attitude about everything. But I think that's his armor. I think that's how he shows the fact he's not scared of anything, even though he's petrified. Is that he's just very he gives it a bit of a side grin and kind of just shakes it off and goes, yeah, does the shoulder roll that Tony Soprano was famous for, which I think he's kind of based his character on.
He's
seems to have
inspired
pulled
by
it from a lot of Goodfellas. Somebody said The Godfather, but I'm not really seeing The Godfather vibes. I'm kind of getting Sopranos, Goodfellas, Casino as well, a kind of a mixture of those three movies.
I love the combination. It's
Yeah.
really working. I
Yeah.
really do like it.
But again, you forget that this is a show that was based on a Batman movie.
Yeah.
And I think this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to push you away from the Batman so you can just appreciate it for what it is, which is just a really good mafia show.
If they had completely disassociated from the fact that it's DC or anything related to Batman, this would be a great show in itself without that attached to it. With that being side by side, it's really great.
The only thing it reminds you is the credits at the start when it comes up, DC's the Penguin.
Yeah.
Other than that, you forget. And then you see it again. It's like, oh yeah, shit, it's DC, isn't it? I keep needing to remind myself this is a DC property. I think it's because we're so used to DC being shit. Now that they've got something that's good, it's like, they're going to fuck this up. Like, DC can't do anything right. This is going to be the Batman all over again. They're going to give us a good, 40 minutes, and then the rest of the film's going to be crap.
I really hope not.
No.
Hope not. I know some people, like you said, have reviewed the other episodes we've yet to see or have yet to air. I hope it doesn't go down from here, but it shows promise in episode 3 that it just seems like it's character building, world building. There's a lot of intricacies of what's going on. And if you like sort of trying to figure things out and being left open to your own interpretation, I think this show is for you. But if you're not really into trying to figure things out, it might fall flat for some people.
So I'll round up the episode. This is Oz's first introduction to the drug that Alberto Falcone, which is the brother of Sophia. This is what he set up before Oz shot him 4 times in the chest. So this is what they've had running for quite a while. But it turns out that Alberto didn't really have anything to do with it, and Sophia was the mastermind behind all of it. So she's already got an operation set up. And this kind of takes Oz by surprise. He's like, "Oh, so you got an operation? This is up and running. Well, I don't understand." He's really taken back, and I think that's the whole point. She wants to keep him off kilter. She wants to keep him guessing. She doesn't want him to get too comfortable because she doesn't trust him.
No.
The reason for that being is the fact that he's the reason she had to go to work. Well, her father was the reason, but he's the indirect reason why she went to Arkham. So he's never really forgiven her for that. She's not forgived him. He's obviously doesn't really give a shit because he's a sociopath. But you can.
There's that disloyalty there.
Yeah.
That is at the core of their relationship.
You see Oz give a bit of humanity, and then it all blows up when you kind of realize, like, oh yeah, he's a sociopath and he's only out for himself. And it all comes crashing down every time. But the whole, every single episode kind of builds up. It's like, actually, he's quite a nice guy.
Yeah.
You can see a bit of humanity there, and it's like, oh wait, no,
Wait.
He's a nut job. Yeah.
But I think with Sophia and Oz's relationship, as I said, I feel that she's not being fooled by it at all. I think she's the only. That's why he can't get through to her. He can fool most people that he encounters, but with Sophia particularly, she doesn't see through the facade. She doesn't buy anything that he's saying.
Yeah. So she already knows that he's full of shit.
Yeah.
And it just every person that he introduced her to that he's met or done business with in the past just reinforces that, because they'll go, yeah, we don't trust you, Oz, or you're a real piece of shit, or what about that time you fucked me over? You still owe me money, you piece of shit. Like every single person.
Every single person.
He's fucked over in some way. So he's a con man. He's a sociopath. He's a chancer. Again, so he's the whole premise is the bliss drug and the fact that they're setting up to take over the entire drug business in Gotham with this new drug. It doesn't have the dangers of drops, but obviously I think we're going to find out.
Let's
there's
put it this way.
a downside to it, and it's addictive or worse than the drops.
But let's put it this way. At the end of the episode, there is a massive altercation. Something goes down. And let's just put it this way. I think it might lead to some very serious altercations.
Yeah. I mean, I foresee, if they can get over themselves, that the two women, Nadia Moroni, who's husband to Salvatore, who's currently in jail, and Sophia, I could see them joining forces, and showing them sisters are doing it for themselves.
Ooh.
I don't think that's how it's going to go. I mean, it could do it.
That'd be interesting.
It'd be interesting. A bit of a cop-out, but we'll see. We'll see. Again, this episode, pretty strong. What would you give it?
I'd give a good 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
for the
I'd agree with
episode.
that. 7 out of 10. The show's still very strong. 100% worth a watch. We recommend you watch it week by week because I think it gives you that anticipation. It builds up. It just keeps you engaged. I think if you binge watch it, it won't have the same appeal, but that's just our opinion. So, yeah. Again, still got our stamp of approval. Check out The Penguin, episode 3. I hope you enjoyed our review.
Let us know your thoughts, guys. Comment below.
And remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
See you soon, guys. Bye-bye.